Hello, and welcome to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Catch the audio on KWIL 790 AM Monday evenings at 6 p.m. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Southpaw's Pizza and Sports Bar, 560 Northwest Hickory Street in Albany. southpawspizza.com. Independent Merchant Brokers, low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. independentmerchantbrokers.com. Bosun Hub. Since 2012, Bosun Hub has built over 350 websites and many ad campaigns. bosunhub.com. Adams Ribs Smokehouse, 210 State Street in Salem. 503-362-2194. adamsribssmokehouse.com.
And now, your hosts for the Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Ta-da!
And here we are.
Hey. Welcome, everybody, to the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We are so glad to be with you today.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing day to be alive, right, Scott?
Absolutely. You know, spring came last week, and the days are going to be longer than the nights. And who can't be happy with that?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I don't know, but I tell you, we are just blessed to be able to be here with the amazing people we get to talk to every week.
That's
and
right.
I'm telling you, Scott, you and I have done this for a while. The Experience Live with Russ and Scott have expanded here to the Experience Local. And not only does it live stream like we said in the intro, but also broadcast on local radio. So blessed to be able to do that and highlight so many amazing believers in business, right?
You know, the community is full of believers in business, and we get to highlight a few of them here. And I just encourage people to support the sponsors of this show and the other sponsors on Hope 107.9 and Quill for Christ. They're making sure that local radio continues and is relevant. And it is really important that we do that. And I just love the businesses.
Yeah, me too. I'm telling you, I can't say enough about the amazing friends that we have and the people that were able to, they are pretty much coming out of the woodwork, Scott. So many great community people. And I think there's really a movement moving forward for local. We always say, you know, think globally, act locally, right? Or I always say that one way or the other way, backwards, forwards. But whichever way it goes, we need to be not forgetting our local businesses
Absolutely.
and our local economy, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's important. And we've got great guests like today. We have Chris Breshears, and we're going to learn more about him and the impact that he's making. And that's what I love is the people that we bring onto the show are people who choose to live a life that makes a difference.
Well, that's it. And they are definitely making a difference like Chris today. And I think we should just move forward, get Chris in. We're excited. He's an amazing man. Here he comes, Mr. Chris Breshears. How's it going, Chris?
Hi, how's everybody doing today?
We're good. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And we're so thankful for you, Chris. I can't even begin to say, since you and I have become friends years ago, when our friendship began, you have been nothing but a blessing and a supporter and a friend and just an amazing person that's always there on the other end. If I need to call somebody or text somebody, there to help in the community. So before I get too much gushing into who is Chris Breshears at Boulder Falls Inn, tell everybody, who is Chris Breshears at Boulder Falls Inn?
Let's see. Well, I have a fiance at home with two children. I bowl professionally is my hobby outside of work. That kind of is my release from working. And for work, I'm a general manager for a Best Western Premier property called Boulder Falls Inn in Lebanon, Oregon. And we also have a 10,000 square foot event center and a full service restaurant. And so that takes up a lot of my time. We have 79 employees that work for us at the Best Western Premier, Boulder Falls Inn. And so if I'm not there, I'm usually at home with the kids doing sports and keeping them busy with activities and or being involved in our community. I believe Lebanon is one of the best communities that we have. And so I love supporting their events and being involved with what we have going on in Lebanon.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the whole community and the whole Mid-Valley you pretty much support. And, today, what we really want to focus in on is our local community and all that you do. I mean, you go well beyond just Lebanon, which is great because what an amazing community, but it extends into Albany and Corvallis and all that whole area. And I know that when you can't be there, you have other people joining in the networking events. But one thing that we love is people that are really building their lives on a strong faith and they're integrating that into their business and how they approach people, like how you love and care for people. Tell us a little bit about why that's so important to you.
Oh, I just believe that people should be cared for. I believe that every person has a reason that they're here, and we're in our position to help other people. And we don't realize the impact that we might have on somebody else. Whether you're a sports superstar or you're a hotel general manager, you have impact on people and in their lives. And being able to listen to them and care and guide them on a path that, to teach them inspiration, positive thinking, all of those are going to go a long ways. You don't have to be, again, I said it, you don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to be a music star to be inspirational to somebody. I know Russ, we have a mutual friend, Michael at Hazella's Bake Shop. I go in there and I feel like a superstar when I go in there, but that's how he treats me. And he's an inspiration to me to treat even our guests and the people that I meet at the grocery store or at the kids' basketball game or the daughters' volleyball game or baseball, treating them with that same kind of caring and compassion that you get anywhere.
Right.
So we'll just remind everybody, we've got Chris Breshears here from Boulder Falls Inn in Lebanon. And the event space, I'll say, by the way, is fabulous. I've been to activities there, the staff, the facility, just the view out there is remarkable. So much better than some of the other places I've been. But Chris, tell us, you didn't wake up one morning as general manager with over 70 employees. These are all families that are benefiting because of Boulder Falls Inn. But how did you get started in this?
Oh, that's a good question. So I actually got started in this. I was a general manager for a bowling center and a coffee house, sports bar, a miniature golf course. And in a period of time where I had a health issue, got diagnosed with autoimmune skin disease, and I had to have 13 surgeries in 2.5 years. And during that time, I worked at a place that didn't have benefits or insurance. And so I decided that it's time to be an adult, go to a place that appreciates me, values me. And so I applied for a position at the Hospital for Samaritan Health Services in Lebanon. And they had a new position, a supervisor of housekeeping and maintenance in the evening. I got that position. And then from that position, I was there for a little over a year when they decided to build an event center. And they were building an event center, then to follow was the hotel. When they built the event center, I was in charge of the setups and the crew that worked at night over there. And they needed somebody to bartend an event. They had their first event. They needed somebody with a liquor license. I let them know that I used to do that. And that's where I got to meet the CEO, Larry Mullins at the time, and got in conversation. Pretty soon I was the event coordinator at the event center, and worked all the events and helped set it up with the community outreach, just booking events just for the event center. And when they decided to break ground on the hotel, I came on board as the hotel front desk supervisor at the hotel when we opened in May 6th of 2015. From front desk supervisor, I became a rooms division manager. I became an assistant general manager, and then went through a little period of time as an intern GM, and then eventually became the GM. I believe, man, it was April 6th or 7th of 2021 now is when I became the GM of the property, with zero hotel experience. I didn't know I was going to be in the hotel business. I didn't know I was going to be in the hospitality. I truly have a passion for it. Our guests that come in, one thing that I don't think that a lot of people realize is in the hotel business and hospitality is we have a ton of repeat business. And so we get to build a relationship with these guests. We get to listen to them. We're their second home. I have people that come stay with us once a month because they have a doctor's appointment, or their grandfather or father or mother is in the veterans home. So we get to build a relationship with people that have been coming here for 8 years. We know them on a first name basis. We get to listen to them and build that loyalty of them coming here. And that's why I love what I do. I get to do something different every day. Every day I come in, it's a different challenge. It's a different task, but I also enjoy, favorite part of my job is the breakfast area or front desk in the morning, checking people out, because I get to have conversations, good or bad, whether they had a good experience or the bad experience. I want to listen to both conversations, and hopefully if they didn't have a great experience, we make it better for them the next time, just by listening and talking to them.
Well, and that's what I love about you is you're all about the experience and helping people. And of course, this is the Experience Local. And, people are looking for a good experience. I was talking to you before the show here about the fact that the Premier Best Western owes you a thanks for having me stay there up in Washington, and just being able to spread that love and customer service. But I think it goes deep within you, Chris. It's your heart. You have a heart for people. There's so many people when it comes to our faith and our strength in our lives. It's really the heart we have for others, right? To love and want to give to others. And that's what I love most about you. In your early years, and as you became general manager, what really sparked that in you? Was it experience on how you were treated other places? Was it just straight through your faith? Was it through your parents and your upbringing? How did you get such a huge heart and great customer service?
For me, it was partly in past of places that I had worked for, like how you treat your staff and your customers and how we appreciate them, especially our staff. I mean, my example, and I know, Russ, you've heard this a few times from me, is I don't drink coffee. And you go to work for places and they give you a $5 coffee card. Oh, you did a good job. Well, I don't drink coffee, right? So that means my employer doesn't know me. And I believe as an employer, we need to know our staff. We need to know the things that they like and dislike. We need to have a connection with them, all by listening to them, having honest conversations and dialogue, and making that a priority. Because in our business and hospitality, our staff is our most valuable. Most valuable thing we have on property. Is like, we have to listen to them. We have to create a good work-life balance for them. We have to allow them to enjoy life, because there's so much more to life than work. That, and I just genuinely, like, if you can do good, you should do good. I've said this a million times. It's not about donating money to a cause. Causes get lots of money, but sometimes they just need volunteers that have time, that can go help set up for an event, help work an event, help, tear down or clean up, or just attend to the event. Even attending the event and being there present is just as important as donating $5 or $5,000. Mm-hmm. It's just as important, and there's so many good causes out there. And for me, I try to support as many as we can, whether it's for kids, adults, if it's for a new building that's opening, new ideas somebody has. Our goal is to help support it. And I don't just support those things through a company that I work. I also support them personally. And build relationships with them. And that's my favorite part. When I do those things, I go home at the end of the day and I feel great. Like I feel like I made a difference in somebody's life or a difference in the event. And I felt like it just makes me feel good and important, makes me feel needed. And I hope to pass those values on to the two kids we're raising and saying, they go to a lot of events with me. Furniture Share just had a Run Your Tutu Off, and I can tell you my family was dressed to the nines because I enjoy doing that stuff. So we go all out and hope that they get that and continue that legacy forward.
Yeah. I love that, bringing in the boys. I'll say we've got Chris Breshears here. Best Western Premier Boulder Falls Inn there in Lebanon is our guest here on the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. And you mentioned Dr. Larry Mullins, and people will know that they're turning into the right place when they turn onto Mullins Drive, right there.
Correct.
And so, and so that's a great indicator that you're in the right spot there in Lebanon. Integrating the family. What types of things are you doing to be able to show your children, and how do you integrate and in the community?
So for me, it's about being present, like knowing that, all Saturdays aren't for sleeping in, or all Sundays aren't for sleeping in video games. It's like, when we do a fundraiser event, we go early, we want to help set up, we become a volunteer. Knowing that at the end of the day, hopefully that they see that they made an impact on the event or what is going on. Because I believe at a young age, if we teach them that, all this is needed, because if we didn't have volunteers and the organizations that go out and do things for kids and adults and, all the things that are needed in the world, we would really be hurt. It would really be hurting. It takes a special type of person to run these organizations and put it all together, and they need volunteers. And also teaching them that it's not about the recognition. We can go and volunteer at an event and they don't have to say my name. They don't have to say my business name. It's not about the recognition. We do it because we get to go home at the end of the day and feel good. And I hope, like, for instance, we have coming up, like, son and daughter are super excited as we have the walk a mile for a child for Dela's Blue Angels. After we got done with the Run Your Tutu Off, they were like, hey, can we do that? So they asked me to do that event. I didn't say, hey, do you guys want to do this? They said, hey, let's go to this one. And that's what I want to see. Is it's like, if they know something that's coming, they say, hey, let's do this. Now I don't have to talk them into it. And that's what we need, because when they're 16, 17, 18, become an adult, they're going to be the next generations of leaders and volunteers. And we need that, because I believe that there's a gap missing in that. I see people that are 35 years old to 40, and then I see people that are about 55 to 90 years old volunteering, but we don't see the younger generation right now, the 20 to 25, and it's really trying to get them involved. And so I hope by doing that we can have, with our family and kids, having them involved will help fill that void.
Yeah, well, and I love that, leading by example, right? That's what you do. You lead by example, and you are showing your heart through your actions, not just your giving monetarily, but your giving of yourself and your time. And I love those events. As you know, there's only one of me these days, and so I can't get out to quite as many as I used to. But I love Run Your Tutu Off. I love the Polar Plunge. That's that same day. I love all these fun events. And, the thing is, it's all about community and people coming together. And there's so many strong people that have a heart and a faith that goes well beyond just making money. And I think that's so important, because I think it comes back to bless you, right? Just like the golden rule, right? You treat others the way you want to be treated. And I think that's so important. So speak to that, and speak to what you have coming up here at the Boulder Falls that we might need to know about.
Oh, you said it right. Treat people like you want to be treated. I think treat treat people better than you want to be treated. Like, I mean, you could, just by treating them that much better, you create an impact in their life. I believe, like for me, Russ, you said Lebanon community, and you're right, in Mid Valley. I do sponsorships at the Mid Willamette Valley YMCA, the Albany Boys and Girls Club. I coach JBO baseball. I coach basketball, flag football at the YMCA. Different things along those lines. And so I believe that we make our outreach as big as we can, for Boulder Falls, but also for myself, with the kid playing sports. We're getting ready for the hotel for the Best Western Premier Boulder Falls. We are getting ready to get into our prime season of business. We get ready for graduation for the medical school. We have Comp Northwest Osteopathic Medicine School that sits on our campus. They're graduating 107 students this year, along with, I believe, about 34 physical therapy students. So graduation will be really huge. It's right before Memorial Day weekend. And then we sponsor an event at the Lebanon Lynn Lanes in Lebanon. So we bring in the professional bowling tour. Comes in. They bring in about 80 competitors competing across the open division, and then the senior and super senior divisions in Lebanon, and then right into graduation for high school, Oregon State, U of O, Willamette, Chemeketa. All those graduations for the college students all overflow business to our area, and so we stay about 90% full through the third week of May till the first week of September. And as Russ, as you know, we get into then OSU football. We host the Oregon State Beavers home team here with us the night before every game, all the way through the end of November. And then we get to slow down a little bit in the hotel, but then we get right into event center business for holiday parties and all that good stuff at the event center. So then the event center takes off pretty well and stays busy. So you're just getting ready for a busy season. We don't have any events ourselves that we're putting on, but those are going to be in the future. Well, we'll be holding some events in our 1 acre Japanese garden. So you'll be able to come out and have some dinner on the patio and listen to music and enjoy the garden.
So we've got Chris Breshears, and he is the general manager at the Boulder Falls Inn in Lebanon. One of the things, Chris, that I wanted to ask you about is, because of the way that you treat your employees and what the impact of that is, because so many businesses today are shorthanded. You go in and you can't get service because they don't have enough employees, and the employees that are there are stressed out. But I believe that you have a good reputation there. Tell us about how that affects retaining your employees and recruiting new employees in.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that we do really well is retaining employees, and it's not necessarily in a sense of a dollar amount for wages. It's more of how you're treated when you come to work. I said it earlier about, hey, your kid has a soccer game or your daughter has a volleyball game. How do we get you to that? Right? You may have to come back to work afterwards, but we'll get you to that game. And listening to them, because we have 79 employees. Everybody has everybody has something going on. Life's like a roller coaster for everybody. It's not always just an elevator that goes sky high that just continues to go up. We kind of have our ups and downs. So we just have to listen to our staff, be there for them, and treat them right. I do bi-monthly staff luncheons where we talk about financially where we're at sitting as a business, the direction we're going, any changes that are coming. And then in those, each month, a different department kind of hosts it and talks about their job in the hospitality industry, what they do. So if you work in housekeeping and you think the person at the front desk just stands there and takes reservations, that's not all they do. They got to make sure that if Russ makes his reservation or Scott, you have your reservation and you want to be on the third floor, garden view, away from the elevator, non-pet room, we got to make sure that we have that for you. And we have that when we have 84 guests arriving, we have to try to grant as many of those as we can. And so they talk about that experience, and then housekeeping gets to talk about their experience. The event center, And so I think by everybody being engaged and knowing that we all have a important piece to the puzzle. And then also, July, it's nice weather. I get in a dunk tank. They get to dunk me for about an hour in a dunk tank. The event center hosts that one. Candy is our event center manager. Samantha's our director of sales for the property. And they put that together. And they're like, Chris, will you get in a dunk tank? I said, absolutely. And so, the staff, they love it.
I love that, Chris. I love that because you are an amazing influence on all of them. I've been there. I've been at your lunches. I've spoken at your lunches. I've seen what you do and how you treat people. It's an amazing experience. If I'm looking for a job, I want to work at the Boulder Falls Inn Event Center for you. But because we're wrapping up on time here, I wanted you to give you an opportunity to give us your short gold nugget of the conversation today, what you want everybody to remember, and then how does everybody get in touch with you?
Okay. Yeah, for me, the most important thing is to know that we all make a difference. We are all inspire somebody in one way or another. Hopefully when we inspire somebody, it's in a good way. And we have to remember that we can make a difference in somebody's life just by listening and helping them work towards their goal. For me, even our staff, they may not work for me for the next 5 years. If their goal is to be a doctor or whatever, wherever their goal might take them, it's how we help them get there. And that's my biggest thing is just to listen and inspire them to be better and think positive. Yeah. For me, if you want to reach me, Best Western Premier Boulder Falls Inn, our phone number for here is 541-451-1000. And then for me, my email, I think is c.breshears@boulderfallsinn.com. And I will answer your emails. I love talking to people, but I am more of a on the phone type of person or in person. I think it's a genuine impact. So I welcome anybody to come out and see us and stay with us and have a great experience.
And one final question from me. Do you think my 118 bowling average is going to get me into the pros?
Oh,
we want to know. We've got to hear a little bit about your bowling because you can't just let that go by.
Well, so I've been bowling since I was 10 years old. So for about 31 years, and I came from a very, very small town in Eastern Oregon. And when my mom got a job at Hewlett Packard, we moved to Albany, and Albany was a big city. The city I came from was 175 people, graduating class of 5, including a twin brother. And so it was a different era, and bowling kept us out of trouble. My mom has find something to do. And so we got into bowling. I've done it my whole life. I got scholarship to help pay for school at Oregon State and Lynn Benton Community College from bowling. Right now, currently, I just competed in a tournament this weekend here in Lebanon, a Southern Oregon All-Stars tournament, and finished 17th out of, I don't know, probably 89 people. I bowled on the PBA regional tour. So we bowl anywhere from Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Utah, and California.
That is amazing, Chris. And I'm going to have to break in here because we love to hear about that, but we're going to have another episode to learn about that. So thanks so much for being with us today. We really appreciate you. You're an amazing guy. And I'll be chatting with you later on. Thanks for being with us, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Scott.
Well, another episode.
Breshears of Boulder Falls Inn there in Lebanon.
That's right. Amazing individual. We're just so thankful that you're here with us on the Experience Local Live with Russ and Scott. We're here every Monday for your listening and viewing pleasure. Remember, not only do we live stream at 9 a.m. like it said in the intro, but we also broadcast on KWIL 790 at 6 p.m. tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for an amazing, amazing show. And Scott, thank you for being an amazing co-host.
We will see you all soon. Russ, great to hang out with you.
Well, always great to hang out with you. See you, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Catch the audio on KWIL 790 AM Monday evenings at 6 p.m. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.